Welcome back to another episode of the Tech Talks Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Neil C. Hughes, and today we're going to be diving into the world of crypto and blockchain education with a very special guest. It's the co-founder and host of Cryptonauts, and anyone that's heard Cryptonauts will know all about Nathan. But I want to learn more about his fascinating origin story, which took him from Hollywood's production to the forefront of crypto education, because it is fascinating as it is inspiring. Because before founding Cryptonauts, he worked on productions for big names from Sprite, Pizza Hut and Foot Locker. But it was his pivot to crypto in 2016 that led to the creation of Cryptonauts, a YouTube channel dedicated to making crypto and Web3 accessible to everyone. And with more than 3 million views and 100,000 subscribers, Nathan's approach to crypto education focuses on quality, engaging content that demystifies the complex world of digital currencies and blockchain technology. So today, I've asked Nathan to join me on the podcast, share his insights into the evolving landscape of crypto education, whether we are out of crypto winter yet, and the challenges that new users might face when they inevitably flock back into the scene, and also share a few predictions for the future of crypto too. But enough spoilers from me. Buckle up and hold on tight. No matter where you're listening in the world, it's time for me to beam your ears all the way to Hong Kong, where Nathan is going to talk about all this and much more. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Hey everyone, first, huge shout out to Neil. Thanks for having me. My name is Nathan and I run a channel called the Cryptonauts. Not the Cryptonauts, sorry. It's the Cryptonauts YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Essentially, we are a Web3 educational channel. We've been doing it since 2016. We've been making videos for 7, almost 8 years now. It took us about 7 years to put out 100 videos. So we're a little bit different. We put out about 1 video a month, and every video we do is at the highest quality possible. So we start off with explainer videos where we explain things with 2D animations, and coming from a filmmaking background, we just try to make it as presentable and educational as possible. So after that, we recently started to branch out in our style of content into documentary style, where we follow founders around, humanizing them, and essentially, interviewing billionaires and asking them about their life. It's like, yes, you're worth billions, but, do you have a dog? What's your favorite McDonald's dipping sauce? Stuff like that, fun stuff. And then we also do conference videos. So we've been traveling around asking, Binance, OKX, MetaMask, and Consensus, BAYC, different big leaders in the space, what they think about decentralization. Is it important? Yes or no? And we're a bit different. We don't really do any shilling. We're Americans, and so we can't really tell anyone to buy anything. And I know regulation is a bit of an iffy topic. So it's like, hey, if we just tell you to buy some stuff, like, we are definitely viable. So that's something we don't do. And we actually look up to the explainer video, I guess, the leaders ahead of us, such as Kurzgesagt. They have like 22 million subscribers. Wendover Production, I think they have maybe 5 million. Polymatter. So we're really into the explainer video type. So I wouldn't say we're really just your typical YouTuber. We actually want to tell stories in the space.
And it's incredibly cool what you're doing here. And every day on this podcast, I always try and put complex technologies in a language that everyone can understand. And that's one of the things that put you on my radar, because your ability to simplify the world of crypto and leave everyone listening or watching with key takeaways, and like they learn something rather than just passively consuming it, is something that I've been following for some time now. And you have had an interesting career trajectory, transitioning from Hollywood's production side to founding Cryptonauts. So I've got to ask, if we delve into your origin story, what was the catalyst for that change?
So we were actually working in casting for commercials. So we got the chance to work with, a couple Super Bowl spots with LeBron James, Reese Witherspoon, and Portlandia, the guys that created Dave Chappelle Show. And then, we kind of pivoted when actually, the real founder is so my neighbor. He was a producer for Disney at the time, and his best friend, his name is Gio. He had a couple movies on Netflix and Amazon, and then he saw Ethereum. This was back in Ethereum was like maybe $70-$80. Bitcoin was like 600, 700. And he was like, hey, he sent out this email to like 15 people talking about Ethereum being the next big thing. And nobody responded except for me. I was like, this guy is super smart. What is this thing you're talking about? I want to know because like he's the smartest guy I knew at the time, right? And so he came back. I called him. He was in Peru with his family. I was like, what is this Ethereum thing? He's like, let's just chat when we get back. And then he came back and then he was like, hey, we should do crypto education. You're Captain Crypto now. And then let's just put out a video and see how it does. And so he wrote the script and then we used a super old camera. This camera doesn't even have like auto zoom. It's manual zoom, right? We used the iPhone as audio, put it in the pocket of the jacket. And then we didn't even have a tripod. We just had a stick, like a wooden stick that we nailed a plate to it, like another piece of wood onto it. So literally a monopod, not even a tripod. And we put the camera on top and then we just shot it in the park. And the video just blew up. It got like 4,000 views in 24 hours. And then we're like, okay, this is great. Let's do one proof of work versus proof of stake. And that one blew up 60,000 views. And then, the rest is kind of history. We just started putting out explainer videos. But, we have our own setbacks as well because, it took us so long to put out each video.
Wow, what an incredible story. Love that. And if you look at the crypto market over the last few years, we've seen crypto winter and all those Bitcoin obituaries. But of course, now as we record this, I think Bitcoin's back up to something like $43,000. And there'll be a lot of new people coming into the space. A lot of people may get separated with their money if they don't know what they're doing. So how would you assess the current state of crypto education? What's falling short at the moment?
I think the new generation and most people I guess we're a little bit older, I'm assuming, like this is our third cycle, right? So fast money is what they want, right? The whole Wall Street bets thing, and then also the doom scrolling. TikTok, everyone's attention span is like maximum 4 seconds, 6 seconds. If you can't catch their attention, they're going to scroll. So long form content is extremely difficult to do. And the narrative that I'm seeing now is meme coins. So I have a friend that I've known for years. His name is Mirza. He's running the Injective project. They did a meme coin on his cat, Kira, and it's up 16x, 16 million market cap for his cat. I'm like, what's going on? Why is your cat worth so much money? He's like, I don't know, man. And then so there's meme coins on Avalanche, there's meme coins on Solana. As you know, Bonk has been rising like crazy. It's like the Shiba Inus, and I think I don't think the full retail and new users are in yet. I think mostly it's Web3 natives who are just really trying to jump into the next hot meme coin. So that's kind of the state of the market now. But at the same time, from my side, I'm seeing a lot of things in Asia, which I can jump into if you want me to.
Yeah, sure. What are you seeing there in Asia? Because I think very often we focus on what's filling our news feeds, but it's great to get a different perspective from a different part of the world. So what are you seeing there at the moment?
So in Asia, so I'm here in Hong Kong at the moment, and we spoke with the Hong Kong government, the financial secretary of Hong Kong, and they're planning to deploy $50 million into digital assets next year, which is very different from the West, right? Coming from America, everything's under scrutiny. And so they're very, very, very supportive, actually. And then we've been working with the Prime Minister of Japan, the technology division, and they're currently revising their third government technical paper on how to approach this whole space. Because, Mt. Gox was in Japan. So obviously they're trying to be a lot more careful, but they are funding startups. They are actually giving out digital nomad visas. And we threw a conference there and we got to meet with the government, and we also got to meet all of the game developers that we used to look up to, Square Enix, Sega, Konami, all of the game producers came out, and they also want to jump in, but they just don't really know how, and kind of if we're all just figuring out and working out together. And I think that's very, very interesting, because Japan used to lead the world in innovation. All the games I played as a kid were, from those game studios. And so I know that Japan, they were telling us that they don't want to miss out on this innovation as well. So they are also slowly opening up. And then Korea, and then Southeast Asia, Vietnam, 100 million users because it's a mobile economy. Nobody has a computer. Sorry, everyone uses their phone, and they just take payment on crypto. So it's already like almost fully adopted there. Everybody knows how to use it. So Southeast Asia is growing extremely fast as well. So this whole side of the earth is just really, really supportive of crypto. Whereas you have, my friends back in America are telling me that, the SEC, you have politicians just bashing it. Obviously, FTX doesn't help, and the whole fallout of Luna and Binance US. But at the same time, in Asia, it's just a completely different narrative.
And it's interesting as well, is that we've got governments here in the West that are bashing crypto at every opportunity while also working on CBDCs at the same time. It's kind of ironic, right?
Yeah. CBDCs are just another way for them to kind of monitor the activity. And I'm all for privacy. I think you need privacy, especially if you even for you're doing podcasts and stuff, right? You kind of want to keep your life private. You don't want to just let in all public figures, right? Because you've heard of all of the the kidnappings and stuff like that. Where's your secret phase? Stuff. We're in an industry where you just have to be very careful, and I think privacy is more important than ever, right? Not just on the shady side, but also for the public, and you can still be private and do good things. You know what I mean?
And what would you perceive as the biggest barriers for potential new users? What's holding them back from entering the crypto space at the moment?
I think the biggest thing is application. Because in theory, I could tell you how so many things work, right? I can illustrate you with block production and say it's a car, and you can visual the little car driving, stuff like that, whereas everyone can relate to the car. But when it comes to application, it's like, how do you open a MetaMask? How do you write down the 12-word seed into, the seed phrase into a piece of paper, put it into a fireproof bag? How do you connect the ledger? All these things are going to be huge barriers, because, my parents, your parents, are cousins and sisters and brothers. They are friends. They don't know how to use MetaMask. And that's let alone all the chains are completely separated. So you need a different wallet for Cosmos ecosystem. You need Kevlar. For Solana, you need Phantom. For Polkadot, you need another wallet. So every chain has its own browser wallet, and it's just a very, very big cluster F, if you know what I mean. And also, not even that, Ethereum has so many, layer 2 scaling solutions, but they're also not connected. So you go from Polygon to Arbitrum, what do? You get to go bridge, you get hacked, you get to go back to the settlement layer. And there's, there's optimism, there's a million of things, and they're all not connected. You have Linea, you have Base. I can go on, right? That's the biggest thing. And I'm kind of tired of everyone boasting that they're going to onboard 1 billion people, because I can't even onboard 10 people, right? Maybe 5. So I think we should start smaller, do something locally for our community, maybe bring on 5, 10 people, then do 20, then do 100. And then when we get 1,000, we can maybe boast, 10,000, 100,000. But if we can't even do 10 people, there's no reason to say we're going to get 1 billion.
100% with you. And as I said at the very beginning of our conversation, I love your explainer videos. That's what put you on my radar, and I just love what you're doing there. But are there any other methods that you use at Cryptonauts to make crypto education more accessible to a wider audience? Because I would imagine that you're aiming at a wide age range, really, with your videos and things. But I'm just curious, any other methods that you use just to make it more accessible?
Yeah, so we're actually trying new things. We're constantly trying to do different things, because we know that the space is always changing. So we're trying different styles of content. So obviously content is king, and we're really doubling down on that. So I'll give you an example. We have our friend in New York. He's a very, very, very good musician. and he's creating for us an original soundtrack. So then now when we go on YouTube, because if we usually just don't monetize because we like to use different music, right? We like to use copyright music and we give the royalties back to, the artist. We like to use different clips from movies, that are also copyrighted. So we don't monetize, but I think we want to start creating our own music from scratch, like original soundtrack, and put that in the video. And then that's something different, right? Because that's our music. We own it. And just little things like that. And then also we're trying to maybe give back to the community a little bit more. We want to maybe host some, hip hop battles, where you give out the prize in crypto, stuff like that. We're just working very closely to the ground with groups of real people. I think that, and then documenting it, that I feel like is more important. And a lot of people are saying, they're just going to do all these good things, but like, I'm going to fly over with Coach, tomorrow, and we're going to go help out families that literally have no money. They're living in the mud. They can't even pay for schools. Right. And so we're taking donations and we're going to go buy them a new refrigerator. We're going to go buy them some groceries, some clothes, right? Get them into school, like really apply and help people in a very practical way. And then document it. I think that is something very, very interesting that nobody is actually doing.
And I know you're an incredibly humble guy. That really comes across. But with over, 3 million channel views, over 100K subscribers, what impact do you think Cryptonauts has had on the crypto education so far? You must get a lot of communication from your followers and fans.
Yeah, and actually, really the best thing, the thing that makes our day, well, me personally, is people who say, "Hey, really good video. I watched the whole thing. I learned something," or "Thanks for answering my question." Those comments and the love that we get actually really kind of keeps us going, because sometimes, obviously you get bad comments, you get hate a lot, and sometimes I try not to read too many of the comments just because I let my team do that, just because we're a little bit, sensitive as artists as well. So really, I think if I have one of my mentors said something very, very, I guess, something that stuck with me over the years. She said that, when you make it to the top, I think the most important thing to do is to send the elevator back down.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like this is somebody that I want to, work for forever, and then I switched to crypto, but we're still very close today. And so I think if we can change and impact some people and help them out and kind of get them out of the, the slowly breaking down of the legacy financial system, then we've done our job as educators. And nothing could make me more happy, because there has never been a way out for anyone. But now, finally, this magic internet money that, the future, the previous sci-fi movies have talked about, it's here, and hopefully more people will understand.
Absolutely love that. And as the world does gradually transition into the Web3 space, and the stage does feel like it's set for a bright future for crypto in 2024, and we're at that time of the year where we're starting to look at the following year. How do you foresee the role of crypto education evolving? Again, this has got to be space that you're following very closely now and probably a little bit excited about too.
Yes, I think it's moving very fast because there's new things every day. So I'll give you an example. Liquid staking derivatives was hot, but now it's like real world assets. That's the new hot thing. And then it's meme coins. And then also it's modular blockchains. And then decentralized physical infrastructure, decentralized app stores. There's so much. Interchain token launching platforms. I could go on. There's so many new narratives and new things that even I myself, it's like we can't really keep up with it fast enough. So I think the most important thing is for us to focus on certain sectors that we personally feel passionate about and just educate on that, and then just focus one video at a time. Because there's just no way we can cover everything. We just don't have a big enough team, and kind of that's just the way we are, because when we work as a small team, we can adapt, we can move fast, and we can make decisions quicker instead of just having to, run it through everybody.
And if we were to take a look under the hood at Cryptonauts, is there anything you can share around how you guys are funded and how you see the business aspect evolving? I appreciate you probably can't share too much, but I'm just curious how you see the business side of things evolving over the next year or so.
Yeah, so we actually kind of put everything back into the business. So we have our own business in the States, in California, and then so we kind of we do a lot of video production for other YouTube channels and other projects. So for example, we used to work with like Bittrex Global or different other exchanges, and we do the explainer videos for them. So we find hosts, and then we book out a studio, and then we help them create educational content that goes on their channel. And so we'll sometimes fly out to different countries, and then they'll just give us a production budget, and then we'll shoot the video, like a series of 5 videos of how to use their app, in the library or whatnot, publishing books and stuff like that. And we just do video production. We're a video production house. And then we have some of the best editors. We have animators. We have guys that work for Marvel. We have guys that work with Activision, so we're very big film industry guys that just kind of really, really passionate about making video content, which is a bit different. Obviously, we're not the wealthiest, but I would say we are self-funded, and we prefer to just live a humble life. I think having money is good, but at the same time, it's not everything, So I think at the end of the day, we're always trying to give back to the community. So whether we get anything out of it, I'm sure we will eventually, right? So I think pay it forward, and then you take care of other people, they will always take care of you back. That's just kind of the mantra we have, and if we kind of put that out there, it's been great for us. So I can't really complain.
And it's so refreshing to hear you say that. I think the space has got a bit of a tarnished reputation for being all about Lambos and shooting to the moon, but it's not. It's such a passionate community, and I think it's the most passionate community in the whole of the tech industry. And hearing you understanding the responsibility of managing that community and wanting to give back to it, that there's something completely beautiful about that. So I wish you the best of luck on your journey. And if we've got anybody listening anywhere in the world, aged from anywhere between 18 and 80, looking to educate themselves, any tips on resources or strategies that you would recommend just to bring themselves up to speed before all the craziness may or may not happen next year?
Yeah, besides our channel, I would definitely recommend Whiteboard Crypto. He does also illustrations. So he's like on the whiteboard drawing and kind of narrating and teaching people. I think Coin Bureau does a good job at explaining. And these are just other channels, and then that do very good education in my perspective. And then if you want to do podcasts, I'm still kind of new to that. I'm still kind of discovering that as well. Podcasts could be good, but application wise, I would say the most important thing is to learn how to use MetaMask, to learn how to figure out what a wallet is. Download a wallet on your phone. The best way to really learn is like buy a little bit of crypto, and then as soon as you buy it, you're going to start checking the charts. You're going to start looking, you'll eventually, because you're personally invested, you have skin in the game, you'll automatically start searching for these educational tools. And so I think understanding how digital cash works is very important, because a lot of people try to send, let's say USDT from Ethereum to a Solana wallet, and it's gone forever. So it's like digital cash. So people will need to understand that there's no middleman here, and that as soon as you send it, there's no one there to help you, which is also good because you're in control of your own assets. But the bad thing is you're in control of your own assets, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I often liken it to a spreadsheet. That day where you spend 8 hours on a spreadsheet and then you lose it completely. It's one of those things that should only happen to you once. You learn from it. It happened to me way back in the day, and it's something that I've made sure it'll never happen again. And looking to the future, what excites you about next year and the crypto space in 2024? Is there anything that particularly excites you?
Yes, actually, quite a lot. I think we are going to see a paradigm shift. I think people are waking up. If you think about it, if you really go back in time, the internet was created, let's say 1995-ish, something like that. I mean, it took around 15 years for the internet to really take off. And now if you say Bitcoin started in 2009, next year's 2024, I would say we're pretty close to the 15-year mark.
Yeah.
And not only that, I'm not saying that the BlackRock ETF is a good thing. I'm just saying that institutional money is coming and licenses are coming. And that means people are going to be able to buy through these traditional, I guess, entities, which could be a good way to onboard it. Because imagine you can buy Ethereum or Bitcoin on your retirement fund or any fund that you have, and you can just sell it as well. That way you don't have to learn how to keep your own crypto. You don't have to learn the 12 words. You can just kind of dabble in it in and out. So obviously there's going to be scrutiny on the decentralization side. Of course, F the banks are going down, but I think we need to find a middle ground where people feel safe, right? Otherwise you're not going to get adoption. And I think the ETF is good short term, but long term, philosophy wise, there's a lot of multiple angles of argument there as well. So again, I don't want to say too much, but I think there's going to be a lot more retail and regular people jumping in this upcoming year.
Completely agree with you. And as someone that is passionate about education, before I let you go, we do have an Amazon wish list where I ask my guests to leave a book that's important to them, one or two books that mean something to them. Is there a book that you'd like to add to our Amazon wish list before I let you go?
Yes, it's The Internet of Money by Andreas Antonopoulos. And it's called The Internet of Money, not the money of the internet, for a reason. So let that sink in. If it's a non-crypto book, I think there's a lot of founders trying to jump in. I know a lot of founders as well as CEOs that are trying to start their own startup. They should also check out a book called Shoe Dog. It's about Nike, the guy that started Nike, Phil Knight, and how he made it, and it was not easy. And so also there's a book by David Goggins. But I mean, those are all non-crypto books. But if I had to recommend one book, it would definitely be The Internet of Money.
Awesome. Well, I'll get all those books added to the Amazon wish list. And for anyone listening, maybe want to join your community, maybe they just want to subscribe to you or contact you or your team. Where do you recommend everyone to start for all things Cryptonauts?
Our YouTube channel. So it's youtube.com/@Cryptonauts. And then Instagram is @CappedCrypto, CAPT_crypto. But Instagram is mostly just lifestyle. Instagram's not real life. So I think if you really want to learn, YouTube is the best.
And what about crypto Twitter? You've got to be on there as well, right?
Oh, yes, Twitter. So Twitter is Cryptonauts Show. So Cryptonauts with an S and then show. So there's two S's in between. Yeah.
I'll get links to all those channels added so people can find you nice and easy. And cannot thank you enough for taking the time out of your busy schedule to sit down with me, share your journey to Web3. It's a great origin story there. The need for a better crypto education, the barriers preventing potential new users, and so much more. And also, while we're excited about 2024, but I'd love to stay in touch with you. I'd love to see how things evolve next year. But more than anything, just thank you for your time today.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man.
So a huge thank you again to Nathan. Incredibly nice guy, patient guy. I had a few technical issues before we started recording today, but he was incredibly chilled out throughout it all. So I'd love to stay in touch with him and get him on back next year to learn more about his invaluable insights into the world of crypto and blockchain and that education challenge that he's tackling, that he's overcoming so well there. And I think it's his unique background in Hollywood production combined with his journey into crypto that highlight the dynamic and rapidly evolving nature of this field. And I cannot thank him enough for bringing on here a perspective from the other side of the world, from how crypto is changing and transforming Asia, I think over here in the UK and in a certain degree in the US, we get bogged down with legislation and SEC said this and those dreaded Bitcoin is dead obituaries that seem to keep cropping up. So it's great to hear about a passionate community that are embracing this world. And I think Nathan's perspective on the current state of crypto education, the challenges of making this technology more accessible, and the future of crypto adoption, especially in 2024, is as both enlightening as it is thought-provoking. So Nathan, thank you so much for sharing your significant contributions to making crypto and blockchain more understandable, more accessible. And to everyone listening, no matter where you are in the world, if you've just found this podcast for the first time, I'd love to hear from you. Please connect with me on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, at Neil C. Hughes. If you want to email me, you want to come on the show, it's just techblogwriter@outlook.com. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you heard this show, because it really does help bring more people into our little community here. And finally, I cordially invite you to join me again tomorrow. We'll have a completely different topic and a new guest waiting to join us. But thank you for listening today, and until next time, don't be a stranger.